This is The Joe Gaither Show on BamaCentral.com.
Good morning, Tuscaloosa, Internet World, West Alabama. How are we doing today on a beautiful, beautiful Wednesday in Tuscaloosa? I hope everybody's doing well. It is the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central, BamaCentral.com. We're hanging out on the Bama Central YouTube channel, on Apple Podcast, Amazon, Spotify, wherever you get your podcast. You can find the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. You can watch it on the Bama Central Facebook page, on my own social media machines at Joe Gaither 6. So we're having a lot of fun here today on a Wednesday. We're in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios. We want to encourage you to call Derek Daniel today for all of your insurance needs. 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. He'll help you with your home, life, auto insurance needs. So we hope you give him a chance to earn your business with a free auto insurance quote. Call him today, 205-758-3391. Like a good neighbor, Derek Daniel is there. Call and see how much Derek can save you today. We're hanging out with our friends, Mason Woods. You can find Mason Woods at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine, retweeting all the Bama news, all the recruiting news right there, writing it for all four of the Walsh Writing Network sites. So you can find it right there, BamaCentral.com, Vanderbilt Commodores on SI, Missouri Tigers on SI, Boston College Eagles on SI. It's right there with writing recruiting news for all four of those sites. Follow him at MAWoods_ on the Twitter machine. What we're going to do today is go over back to the Malmore Athletic Facility. We were there yesterday. Hopefully you are one of the people that watched us on the Bama Central YouTube channel. We talked to, who did we talk to? Ty Simpson, Deontae Lawson, Bray Hubbard, LT Overton. We talked to Ryan Williams and Parker Brailsford. So 6 of Alabama's leaders really spending some time with the media yesterday. And we want to talk about a couple of the comments. I've got a couple comments about that Ty Simpson made, that Deontae Lawson made, and that Parker Brailsford made that I want to get into to kind of lead us down the path further. 3 days until Alabama kicks off against the Florida State Seminoles. The war chant was talked about yesterday in the Malmore Athletic Facility. So we'll talk about what these guys had to say yesterday. We'll talk about how rain may or may not affect the game on Saturday. And then we'll also look around the rest of the college football slate to kind of get really, really amped up for week number 1. So that's on the docket today. We encourage you to join us on the comments section at Joe Gaither 6, at MAWoods_ at Bama Central, or leave us a voicemail. Leave us your predictions for week 1, 205-462-7340, extension 800. With that, Mason Woods, good morning. How we doing?
I'm doing good this morning. Doing good. Not a whole lot going on. Right before we got on, I saw that Alabama extended a new offer in the 2026 class, the latest player to receive an offer, 4-star quarterback Kamari Bing. So he is currently committed to Maryland, been committed since August of last year. Not really sure how.
Fear the turtle.
Not sure how in stone that commitment is, but we will have to see. He is teammates with Jira Edwards, the 5-star safety commit to Alabama. So we will, we'll just kind of have to see what happens there. Reached out this morning. Maybe we'll see if we can get in touch with him.
Speaking of commits and committed another way, or not sure how committed he is, I saw this twice yesterday, and we'll just roll right into an easy conversation right here. I saw this with 4-star Auburn edge commit Hezekiah Harris, and then I saw it later because I know I retweeted it. Yeah. I saw it with 5-star Penn State running back commit Kamon Spell, and Spell is in the 27 class, so he's a little younger. But both these young men, starting with Spell, because he was the first one. Spell told Hayes Fawcett, these handful of schools, these 6 schools, have the best shot at flipping me. And then Hezekiah Harris ends up later saying, these 3 schools, I'm going to announce a final decision. Despite me already being committed to Auburn, I'll announce a final decision on September 1st. Do these young men know what committed means, Mason Woods?
I think I'm inclined to give the 27 kid benefit of the doubt a little bit, just because there's so much time left in his recruitment. However, the current senior in high school that you committed, if you wanted to have a ceremony, if you wanted to do which like it's perfectly fine, you can have your ceremony, you can do your big, everybody show up to the gym or auditorium, whatever, they all, everybody does a speech about me, whatever you want, you can have your big ceremony, that's fine, but commit then. Don't commit when Auburn maybe gives you a paycheck under the table that says, hey buddy, we need a commitment, and then 9 months later you're like flipping your commitment. I don't know that that's what's happening. But it's just strange. It is. I don't understand if, no, I'm with you. I don't see the point in it whatsoever. Either you are committed or you're not committed. If you're having a ceremony to announce your commitment, that means you're not committed currently.
Nuts to me, the current trend of, I'm committed to
I feel like
but I'll make a final decision in a couple of months after that.
I feel like it's one of two things. It's either the school paid for the commitment initially so they could look good and say, oh, we got this commitment, or no one has really offered any money, and now in the 11th hour in comes whatever school with new offer to shake things up a bit.
I think it's the latter, probably. I think it's, we are starting to see our recruiting classes take shape, and we're starting to figure out our money situation. And hey, buddy, we got an extra X $1,000. You want to?
I think given the, I don't know, I wouldn't even call it a surge so much as I would just say a slight spike that we've seen in Auburn recruiting over the last 2 weeks or so. Maybe that money situation is getting sorted out a bit, and they're realizing some money is not going to be diverted to certain players that they thought previously could be diverted to said players. And now said player is in contact with other schools. Again, this is all speculation. We don't know, but it certainly seems like a possibility.
A final decision coming soon for Hezekiah Harris. It's like, oh my gosh, nauseating.
When you look at the whole picture, it makes sense a bit, but it is stupid.
Well, you're just not committed, and that's the problem. No. That's the thing. And it's fine if you want to be like, well, I'm thinking about going to Auburn midsummer. Sure. Yeah, I'm thinking about going to Auburn. Auburn's in the lead, but I'm not committed. Auburn, I like them. They're my favorite school. That's fine. It's okay. Even if this was Alabama, I'd still be saying the same thing. Alabama 2026. Oh, Alabama's in the lead. If any of the 26ers that are in Alabama's class went out there in the next day or so, and it's like, well, I'm committed to killing the board, but I'll make a final decision between Bama, Texas, and Ohio State next month. Like, what? I would call you a bozo as well. So just a nauseating trend that's starting to pop up in the recruiting sphere.
Interestingly, we have seen almost the exact opposite with this year's Alabama class, with this 26 class. We've seen,
we're shutting it down.
Yeah, I mean, it's like every other week or so, we get a new commit just says, all right, I've officially shut it down, and we're rolling with the tide. I don't know, maybe that's telling of where you are as a program. Who knows?
All right, so that's just a trend that I saw online yesterday.
Yeah, I don't like it either.
Let's get into some actual news, some actual discussion about this Alabama football team. We did spend time, as we said, with those 6 leaders. Do you want to start with Parker? Let's do Parker last. Let's do Parker last because I think his comments will lead us into a greater discussion. We will talk about either Ty's comments or Deontae Lawson's comments. Which one do you want to get into first, the offensive or defensive leader of the team?
Let's go with Deontae Lawson, because you're going to have to inform me, because I've not actually had the chance to watch him yet. I got through most of the other ones, but haven't gotten to Deontae yet. So
that's okay. That's all right. You're gonna go onto the Bama Central YouTube channel and watch Deontae Lawson,
and then I'm gonna rewind it and watch it again, and rewind it and watch it again and again and again.
Exactly.
You unsubscribe, resubscribe, resubscribe.
You'll enjoy the comments in that video talking about your reporter, the reporters asking bad questions. Anybody can get a credential. All right, buddy. Good luck with you to you with that. But Deontae Lawson had 2 things that stuck out to me during his 9-10 minutes that he spent with the media sphere. We were standing right in front of him, and the first part of the questionnaire, the first part of the press conference, ended up really landing on Thomas Castellanos and his trash talk, and people asking him about, well, is that really extra motivation? Does that really make you want to play 3%, 10%, 15% harder? Does that really let you find that extra gear? And Deontae Lawson was basically like, we hear it and we do want to play well, but you still have to do the right things in preparation. You still have to, in the summertime, hit the weight room right. You still have to watch the film. You still have to go to practice and do the drills and do the mundane,
Yeah,
do the
yeah,
mundane
yeah.
well. It was like, so no, so no. If you're just motivated by the trash talk, then you're not really motivated, was his kind of point. If you're just motivated by him talking trash about Nick Saban not coming to save you, then you're not really motivated, and you're probably not doing the right things for the right reasons. And so he was like, yeah, we hear it, but I think that it's more important to be doing the right things for the right reasons.
Yeah, I mean that's the correct perspective to have. Now, would I have liked to hear him say that? Yes, that gives me, that takes me from 100% motivation to 200% motivation or something along those lines. Sure, I
It's
would
an
like to hear
impossible
some kind
number,
of line
Mason.
about that. And but I
No
do,
such thing as
I do think
200%
he's right. Like
motivation.
it should not be the basis of your motivation, but I absolutely think it should add a little extra, a little extra zing on it. Maybe at the end of a play when you're deciding, oh, should I get up right now? Well, maybe you lay on the guy for an extra second or so because he said some trash talk. I think that certainly plays a factor. But yeah, he's right. If that is the only thing motivating you, you're not. In the end, you're probably not going to be very successful because you kind of get to the point where you just have to start making up your own motivation if nobody's trash talking you, and then that's not a great spot to be.
LT Overton did give you some of that juice, talking about, oh, we want to really get after him. But I appreciated. Yeah, I spent my time with Deontae, so that's what really stuck out to me. What else stuck out to me was who Mason Woods is playing Tommy Castellanos in practice for Alabama. Did
I
you
love
read
this
this
so much.
If you aren't reading BamaCentral.com, first you're a fool. But if you didn't get to it yesterday, I know you read it every other day. Yesterday we wrote about these comments, and he revealed that one Jalen Mbakwe is basically playing scout team quarterback Tommy Castellanos. Jalen Mbakwe, former Clay Chalkville quarterback and defensive back,
Everything.
and state champion, 6A state champion. Had I looked it up for yesterday's article, 282 total yards in the state championship game against Ryan Williams in Saraland, 4 total touchdowns, and won the game, winning the MVP of the game. So he's got experience playing quarterback, and he is taking on the role of scout team quarterback to prepare the team for Tommy Castellanos.
How disrespected do you have to feel if you're Tommy Castellanos that they have taken a defensive back to emulate your game as a quarterback?
Oh, well, he's a wide receiver now. He's a wide receiver
Sure.
now.
Yes. Sure. No, I mean, I think it's perfect. It's a perfect use of Mbakwe because, God love the kid. He's been buried on this depth chart, unfortunately. It just is what it is. It's just kind of, par for the course. You made a late switch to a position that, yes, you can play, and I think there's a chance that you can have success there, maybe down the line a little bit. But you made a late change. You got to the game a little later than everybody else in that room did, and then they also brought in some big time freshmen that are going to be impressive, and some good transfers and so on and so forth. So you've just been bumped down further and further and further throughout the offseason. So utilize the athlete. He is still a 5-star athlete. He is still a world-class athlete. So utilize what you have in him in any way that you can. And I think it's a great way to, one, get him involved, probably make him feel more involved, because I'm sure he does not feel like he maybe once did, being relatively featured in that defensive back at one point last season, or that defensive back rotation at some point last season. But it just keeps him involved. And I think again, it's good preparation. He is probably the closest thing that you have on the roster to Thomas Castellanos at a quarterback position.
Yes, somebody comfortable taking snaps. You don't have to teach, some random. You don't have to teach Latzia Brooks how to take a snap.
Sure.
I'm sure he could, but I'm just throwing a name out there. He's back there. He's like, oh, I've back in a familiar position. Ryan Williams says, Ryan Williams was talking about it, and he said, oh, I saw him hit a pump fake, pull the ball down and go on somebody. He really faked somebody out.
I bet he's been having fun with it.
Well, Deontae said he's been talking a lot of trash. So maybe trying to find the mental edge that Tommy Castellanos is doing as well, saying, he's been out there saying we can't tackle him and trying to get everybody fired up. He brings good energy to the position.
I bet he's out there ripping off 25, 30-yard runs, like you just said, Ryan Williams said, pump faking dudes out of their shoes. I imagine he is not, if you're a defense, he's not fun to deal with.
Ryan said that he's getting deja vu from that state championship game. He's like, I'm trying not to watch him. I'm getting deja vu.
Oh man,
yeah,
no, I love that. I
bad
think
memory.
it's a perfect utilization of Mbakwe's skill set, just given kind of where his status is on the team right now.
If you haven't gotten a chance to watch Bray's, Mason, don't watch it. Bray is the most straightforward SOB in the world. They asked him, well, what kind of look is Jalen Mbakwe giving him? He's giving us a good look.
Yep.
He's giving us what we want. Well, that's what you want from a scout team. Getting a good look.
Good stuff.
Oh.
Thanks, Bray.
Thanks, Bray.
Groundbreaking stuff.
Bray is straight to Bray just wants to play football and go hunting. That's what.
Yeah, that is the vibe that I get from him. I don't know if you watch the Netflix like SEC thing, but
no,
it very heavily featured the Weeks family. Whit Weeks, Will Weeks, all the Weeks kids from LSU, and like that's how they are. Like you can just tell it's just we just like to play football and go hunting. And like if Alabama had allowed themselves to be featured, Bray Hubbard would have been the star of this offseason because of the exact same thing.
Right. I mean, he was fine yesterday, but it was 7-8 minutes of, well, Bray, who stood out to you? They all have. Well, Bray, who's what defensive back has been doing good? Well, we've all been doing good. It's like
you got to come up with a really good, just off the wall hunting question for him. See if you can just get him rolling on something one day.
I need some. If you're a hunter, leave us a question because I don't know anything about that life. Actually, I'll just ask my girlfriend's dad, and he'll be like, ask him what kind of gun he uses, that sort of thing. I guess. But Bray was just straightforward. Well,
I bet Bray's a bare hands kind of guy. He just tackles boars out in the wild,
rips their neck out.
Yeah.
I can see that he's got he's probably got the Rambo face.
Yeah, I can see it.
But hearing that, we've been playing on this will Alabama cover though 13.5.
Yes,
I think that Jalen Mbakwe is a really nice utilization, a really good utilization of the talent in the team to prepare for Tommy Castellanos. Will he move exactly like him? No. Deontae Lawson said obviously things are going to be different on Saturday, but it does give you a good feel for a shifty mobile quarterback. He said that Jalen throws left-handed, and so the ball looks at. He said, "Oh, that was a little funny watching a left-handed quarterback, but still." You get a pretty decent idea. I mean, he's a damn good athlete.
I'm almost certain that he is a fair amount faster, a fair amount quicker, a bit shiftier in the open field than Thomas Castellanos is. So I imagine, it's like the going up and practicing your swing with two bats, and then you get to the plate and it feels light as air. It's kind of one of those situations, I think, where they're going up against a higher caliber athlete than they actually will be facing.
Yeah, so I think that's a great thing to. Well done, Kalen DeBoer. Well done, Kane Womack. Well done, entire coaching staff getting somebody who's going to look similar to Tommy Castellanos out there testing the defense. Rush lanes was a heavily talked about theme yesterday. LT Overton, Deontae Lawson, Bray Hubbard all talked about. Well, we got to have disciplined rush lanes. We got to have good rush lanes because we can't create a seam for him to escape out of. So look. If you do that, you keep him bottled up in the pocket, make him throw that football. Oh, I think that things will go well for the Alabama defense.
It's just gonna be like the whole front seven. Each player up there is gonna have like 6 tackles exactly. It's just gonna be perfectly split amongst everyone. It's gonna be great.
So there we go. That's comments from Deontae Lawson. Let's move into comments from Ty Simpson that stuck out to us yesterday. About 10,000 of you guys already viewed the Ty Simpson interview. I appreciate that. Please check it out on the Bama Central YouTube channel. If you have a favorite player, we are the only outlet. We're the only outlet that got every single player's entire comments. I know we've got other outlets that are very, very good, and I'm not disparaging them at all, but we had more people in the building to do that. And so that's really our advantage there at Bama Central and Bama Central's YouTube channel. We're not better than any other outlet, but we do have that advantage over them. So take advantage of that by checking us out on the Bama Central YouTube channel. All 6 player availabilities in their entirety can be found right there. But Ty Simpson talked about Coach Saban a lot, right? Talked about Coach Saban a lot and what Coach Saban's advice was to him. Ty Simpson talked about the weather. Oh my gosh, third day in a row. Really, Monday was fine. Tuesday was just beautiful, and today getting over to the stadium again, or getting over to the studio again, just absolutely pristine. I know your boy Rusty loved it getting out there this morning.
It's amazing. I saw this morning right before we started recording from James Spann that in Birmingham today for August 27th, it was a record low of 57 degrees, and fall is in the air. Football is back. Yeah, it's all culminating.
It feels like the first week of October right now, which amazing. I love. So we'll see.
I desperately hope that this means a cold winter, but we will just have to see.
Yes, I do too, for sure. But Ty basically was he got in front of him, and he was like cutting up with the media about how cool it was. He was, man, you guys are from Alabama too. You know how hot last couple of weeks, man, has been so hot. And I think the weather in Tallahassee is going to be more mild than I expected, but we'll get to the rain comments in a little bit. Essentially, he was commenting about Parker Brailsford. Oh, such a great relationship. That's my guy. This, that, and the other. Talked about just playing within himself. They asked him if he's played in front of any big crowds before. Obviously, he's been backup quarterback, so he's been down to LSU. He's been up to Tennessee. He's been over to Auburn, but he was not on the field dealing with those elements directly. He was kind of probably signaling and doing all kinds of, an ancillary role. This time he's going to be down, sit, hut in the big crowd. And he goes, well, not many high schools in Tennessee. Not many high schools in Martin, Tennessee have big stadiums like they do down here. He's like, he was complimenting some of the Alabama high school stadiums, and he's like, not many great big high school stadiums in Martin.
No, I would imagine what do we think the biggest crowd he played in high school was? 1,000 people, maybe?
2. Yeah.
Tie. 2,000, yeah.
2 is kind of my guess.
Not a lot of folks. It's not, we've talked about, it's just not it's not like Texas. It's not like Georgia, it's not even like Alabama. It's just high school football isn't as huge of a deal there as it is in some other places.
But the comment that stuck out to me and what I want to build a conversation around was his comment when talking to Coach Saban. And he had a couple of times where I talked to Coach Saban and he said this. But he said, oh, what do I need to do this week? What do I need to do this Saturday? And Coach Saban gave him the coach speak line, which is not wrong by any means. Ty, all you got to do is make sure you end every drive in a kick. Even if it's a punt, you end every drive in a kick. That way you give your defense a chance. You don't leave the team, quote, dead in the water, I believe was the actual quote. We're not dead in the water he's talking about interceptions here. He's talking about fumbles. He's talking about pick sixes and, big flips on the scoreboard. So end every drive in a kick, Mason Woods, is the baseline goal for Ty Simpson.
That is the same advice that I received when I was about 16 years old and my football team was 0-6, previously 0-10 the year before. We went on to lose 4 more games to finish 0-10 once again. It's the correct attitude, but boy, it's kind of loser mentality also. We want points. We want touchdowns. We want PATs and field goals. I don't want to.
Those are kicks too. Those are kicks too.
Those are the good kicks. Punts are. I won't say they're bad kicks, but I will firmly put them in the kick category. Yeah, I'm not gonna. You'll never catch me celebrating a punt, buddy.
A punt over a pick six, though. Yeah,
that's not what we're doing here. We're
don't put the ball in dangerous areas.
A punt over a touchdown, or what are we doing?
Don't put the ball in dangerous areas, Ty Simpson. No interceptions.
You can do it. if you can put the ball in dangerous areas, please, by all means, do it, Ty.
Theo Fernandez, I don't know if you listened to a whole lot last week, Mason, because you were on vacation. And when I'm on vacation, I unplug. So no hate if you didn't listen to it. But Theo has been pretty set in, Ty's going to have a first half interception.
I don't think it's all that unreasonable. I still don't necessarily think he's going to really like push it enough to throw one even, but I hope that he does almost. But I don't hope he throws a pick, but I hope that he pushes it, and I hope that he has the arm talent to not throw the interceptions and to just throw guys open and things like that. But we will just have to see. First half pick. I mean, I don't think it'd get him benched or anything, but it would certainly tighten that leash up just a bit more.
Tighten it up. Well, I think he's going to have a fairly long leash on Saturday. Obviously, winning the game is going to be paramount, but I do think that he's going to be given a lot of extension to figure it out.
Sure.
In every drive, I mean, I like it. I don't love
like
it.
I said, it's not a bad attitude to have. It's just, if we're really like getting down to the nitty gritty here, are we actually gonna say that punts and PATs are the same thing? Like, come on, they're not.
No, well, no,
want PATs.
But I'd rather you check it down to Daniel Hill.
If you get a punt.
Yeah, I'd rather you check it down to Daniel Hill rather than throw it into triple coverage. That's the point. Check it down to Daniel Hill and pull out of it.
Leads it into triple coverage.
Well, then
if he's this elite quarterback, if he's this guy, if he's the guy, he can do that.
That becomes that
Bryce Young did that.
The basketball shot from midcourt, the Mark Sears 3-pointer from like 5 feet off the 3-point line. No.
More than that. Pull it up from 40.
No. Bad shot. Yes, he made it.
Hey, if he can do it, he can do it.
It's like
those are the things that I have. Those are the things that I want to see from him. That will show me that he is this elite quarterback that everyone has told me he is.
So we'll find out how Ty Simpson can implement that advice this weekend. A little offshoot. A lot of the comments in the Bama Central YouTube channel on the Ty Simpson press conference, and I'll ask you before I poison the well here. A lot of the comments were, why does he keep mentioning Coach Saban? Why doesn't he mention DeBoer? He keeps mentioning Coach Saban. Obviously Coach DeBoer doesn't have control of this team. Always talking about a Saban. Coach DeBoer are they even coaching this guy?
I was just about to say it. Are we worried? Is it a concern that he's only talking to Coach Saban and not Coach DeBoer? No, people. Good Lord. There's just I guarantee there's. You and I would not understand it. The people commenting on this video would not understand it. There's just a special connection that he probably has with Coach Saban. That's the coach that recruited him out of high school. It's the coach that gave him his chance, all these things. He likes Kalen DeBoer. I'm sure they have a great relationship, but it's not the same relationship. I imagine there's not that Ty's dad is like absent or anything, but I imagine there's a bit of a father figure relationship that he has with Coach Saban that might not quite be there with DeBoer. He probably views DeBoer as his coach, whereas Saban, you spend a little more time. You grew up a little bit more with him. You got there younger. He kind of shaped you into the person you are. I'm sure that relationship is just different. So, I imagine to Ty, it was no different than if like reaching out to his uncle or something for some advice. It was less about, let me get a different coach's perspective and more about, let me get my family member's perspective.
Exactly. This is granddad, essentially. Yeah. Your father is busy with his own program at UT Martin and not too busy to where, I'm not talking to my son. Sure. But hey, I got an hour where I just want to talk about things, talk about what happened at practice, talk about some issues, some mind things. And really, it's mind things. It's mental. Mm-hmm. It's mental. I don't want to say problems, but preparation, mental preparations, to where I'm sure he and Coach Grubb and DeBoer and Sheridan and DeMarcus Shepard are all, they got morning practice, they've got morning film, they've got afternoon film, but it's 6:00, it's 5:30, and man, I just want to keep talking about this. I've already talked to Coach DeBoer, I've already talked to Coach Sheridan, I've already talked to Coach Grubb. Let me see what Coach Saban's doing. And Coach Saban's sitting down after his evening, right before his dinner or evening, or he's winding it all
Saban's
down.
eating at like 4:00.
And hey, Ty, how we doing?
Or
What's
having a
up?
little Debbie at 7.
Right. He's going, hey, Ty, how's it going? Well, Coach, going good. I just want to talk to you about a few things. And it just spins and spins and spins. Like, you ever call your granddad and just get into some stuff?
Yeah.
And, you get the end of the day and, well, my granddad told me that all I need to do is just do my job. All I need to do is just focus on what I can control. All I need to do is end every drive in a kick. And it's like, I don't see, like, people make the most out of the most minimal hooey in the world, that it's like, well, he must not be listening to Coach DeBoer. And I bet you he's not even calling Coach Saban every day. I bet you it's a twice a week, it's a once a week phone call to where, hey, I know I know he's sitting at the house, and I'm just, wanting some extra perspective, extra advice, extra, energy right here. It's
I
the
think
silliest thing in the world.
And like you mentioned it, like it being not an X's and O's conversation that he's having with Coach Saban. It's well, how do I prepare for this? How do I deal with these things? And like,
how do I
look,
lead my team?
Yes, like we said, he probably got a great relationship with Coach DeBoer, Coach Grubb, Coach Sheridan, all of those guys. I believe wholeheartedly they probably have a fantastic relationship. But I've got a great relationship with my boss too. That doesn't mean I'm going to go share with him that, like, ooh, I'm nervous about work this week.
Exactly.
Like, that's not things that he necessarily wants to talk to his coach about. You don't want to plant you just got done fighting all summer to win a starting job. You don't really want to start planting seeds of doubt that, like, ooh, now I know that Ty's a little nervous about this game. I don't think that's necessarily, I don't think that's what you want to be sharing with DeBoer. That's what you have Coach Saban for. That's why he's, I imagine, given all of these players full access to call him when they need and things like that. And that's why I imagine many of them probably do.
Exactly. It's, Coach, you used to say whichever quarterback wins the team wins the job. Well, now that I've won the team, how do I keep winning the team? And now that I've won the job, how do I keep what do I need to do to make sure these guys know I got their back?
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think
Ty.
that's not something you really want to ask the coach that you just, had to go prove yourself in front of to win the job. You don't want to then turn around and be like, okay, thank you. How do I keep this?
I think that people who are in the comment section are making a mountain out of a molehill.
I agree.
Last thing for the offensive side, and this is just a funny. Have you listened to Ryan's yet?
Not yet.
When you listen to Ryan's, count how many times he says, honestly, honestly,
that's his
honestly,
thing.
that's his crutch. Well, and you get to decide if he is being honest or not.
I mean, I think Ryan's pretty genuine. Every time I've ever seen him, he always comes across very. It seems like he's pretty open about things. I imagine that's why we don't get as many opportunities to speak to him as we do some other players.
Honestly. All right, so let's hit a break real quick, and we'll transition to Parker Brailsford, who I think is going to bring us into a larger conversation, and then we are going to finish the show by looking at the rest of the Week 1 matchups that are ahead of us. We've talked a ton about Alabama, Florida State. We'll keep talking about it over the next 3 days, but it is time to look around the rest of the college football slate, and so we'll do that to finish out the program. Get ready, Tuscaloosa. New Era Wrestling presents the Crimson Clash. The hottest local wrestling show in town slams into 2 dimes on Thursday, September 11th. Witness the chaos as social media sensation Big Trouble Ben Bishop brings his larger-than-life swagger to the ring. The man is 6'12". He weighs 15% of a metric ton and is bringing every bit to Tuscaloosa. Feel the heat when our new champion Sleazy C. Caden Newton defends the open title. And don't miss the brutal street fight between the modern-day Kings and the unstoppable force known as the Draw. It's the same weekend as Alabama hosting Wisconsin, so keep the Tuscaloosa energy high with the Crimson Clash. Doors open at 7 p.m. and the bell rings at 8 p.m. at 2 dimes on the Strip. Grab your tickets now on Eventbrite by searching New Era Wrestling and use promo code RADIO for 20% off. New Era Wrestling, where legends are made and the battles are epic.
You need length and girth in this league.
And we're back here in the Derek Daniel State Farm Studios, right here off McFarland Boulevard. Come see Derek today for all of your insurance needs: home, life, auto insurance, renters insurance, boaters, trailers, whatever you need to insure. Derek Daniel can make it happen. So call him at 205-758-3391. Mason Woods, let's talk about Parker Brailsford, because I think Parker is really an underrated aspect for this Alabama football team. We've been kind of worried about the war chant. We've been kind of worried about the atmosphere and worried about this, that, and the other. And I think something we've discounted, Ty's going into his first start, and it's going to be on the road, and it's going to be a crazy environment. But he does have Parker Brailsford, who played at Washington and played here last year and really played well last year and at Washington, and has been all over the country. Obviously, last year down in LSU and up at Tennessee didn't go so well, but it is experience in hostile environments.
Mm-hmm.
He's played at Oregon. So he's played in hostile environments in his career. So he's going to be ready for this. And we asked him really what his role is. What does he see his role is from, like, obviously deeper than snapping the football and blocking the man in front of you, which that's the baseline role. But he said, "Oh, my role is to keep things calm. Is to make sure the offensive line, everybody on the line knows what we're doing and feels good about what we're doing, and to keep things calm in the huddle and lining up, and and we're like, oh, how you do that? How? And he said, well, I think it's my personality. I think it's just what God's given me as my personality to be able to deal with chaotic situations and kind of, assess everything. And all right, guys, here we go. This is what we're doing, and block out the noise." So I want to get us into a conversation about Parker Brailsford, and I want to take it into snapping a wet football, because rain is on the menu on Saturday. Now, maybe that can change. It definitely can change, but rain looks like it's on the menu. And so I want to take basically go in layers here. We're going to go Parker Brailsford's leadership. We're going to go snapping a wet football. And then we're going to go, how does the game change if it is raining on Saturday? Is Alabama more apt to win bigger? Is it more likely to be a closer, uglier game than even we've suggested? What's the element of rain add or change about this game? So let's talk about Parker and his leadership and how you feel about, really, he's going to have Geno Vandermark on the right side. He's going to have Cam Dewberry on the left side. Both these guys experienced players. Dewberry playing at Texas A&M. Obviously, when he was on the field at A&M, the crowd was quieter. But going into road environments in the SEC, you're going to have on the far left Caden Proctor, and on the far right you're going to have Wilkin Formby. So he's got an experienced group around him. Keeping really the nucleus of the offense calm. Ty, you got big old bug eyes for right now. Hey, buddy, take a deep breath. We're all good. Hey, you're not Jam Miller running back. You are, in lesser experienced Richard Young, Daniel Hill, Dre Washington. Hey, guys, we're all good. Jeremy, you've been through it. You're going to be set. Ryan, you're a stone cold killer. You're going to be A-okay. Isaiah Horton, you played at Miami. You played in Florida State, so you know what this is like. Wide receiver room should be good. Tight end room should be good. But basically, the offensive line led by Parker Brailsford, keeping everybody, hey, even keel, just doing our jobs. We're all good.
I mean, I think he's a kind of perfect candidate for that. Obviously, the center position, just being a guy that touches the ball every single play, but also, over the last year and change, we've seen, I don't know how many minutes of content from Parker Brailsford, but all of them, he comes across as a very likable, very jovial, kind of happy guy who would be the perfect candidate to keep everything even keeled and like keep everybody on the same page. Hey guys, don't worry about a thing. We're fine. Everything's A-okay. I think especially this year, now that he has a full year of experience under his belt with this team, he really feels like he can step into that role and be a voice on the team rather than, maybe a guy that just feels like he has to lead by example a bit. Now he can actually kind of be a bit more vocal because he is a veteran of the program. But yeah, I think he's perfect. I think also, I mean, you mentioned Jeremy Bernard being another guy who is just locked in. I think he's another one who, same kind of thing. Every time we've spoken to him, every time we've heard from him, very seems just like a happy, nice, easygoing guy who's going to keep everything even and afloat. But Parker Brailsford, I think, is the perfect person to be that guy for this team. I don't think that Ty is going to be big deer in headlights, panicking when we get out there. I don't necessarily see that from him. But if he is, I think I'd be pretty happy if Parker Brailsford was the guy to grab me and shake me by the head and say, "Hey, big fella, calm down a little bit."
Take a deep breath, Ty. Everything's going to be A-okay. We're ending every drive and a punt. You're just going to turn and hand the football off. Number 2's out there on that side. Number 1's out there on that side. We're all good.
I don't know that we want to end every drive in a punt, but
Well, in a kick. You're right. You're right. Well, if the defense looks like 2016, we're going to get a few defensive scores, and Ty, you don't have to do anything.
That if that's the way it's going to be, that's the way it's going to be. And to like the second you mentioned, anything was like, I don't think I'm worried even a little bit about Parker Brailsford snapping a wet football. You spent as much time as you did up in Washington, where it rains daily. I think you have ample experience snapping a wet football. He's had plenty of experience here in Tuscaloosa because it rains again almost daily. So I'm not too worried about it. Will that change the game? Maybe change the game plan a little bit. You probably get a little more conservative with it if it is raining hard. That score probably tightens up a bit. Maybe Florida State does cover that 13.5. But I'm not really worried about rain having a huge outcome on this game or effect on this game.
I think it makes it muddier. Brandon saw. I think it slows down Florida State's run game a little bit. I think it
just makes it a little uglier.
I'm feeling better and better about Alabama's backdoor cover. I think 17 is going to be the number. I think you're going to end up at a 10 point late third quarter lead, and they're going to be pressing
24-14.
Right, and then you end up with Alabama putting that dagger in to make it 17, and it's like, well, dang it, we were close.
We've watched far too much football. We know the script already,
Yeah, well, if you listen to the Joe Gaither show, you'll be ready for Saturday's ugly game in the rain. Lots of runs. You're going to have a couple runs that really irritate you from the Florida State perspective. And you can just make sure you strap it into the couch. Don't throw anything through the TV. Just hang in there. Keep your seatbelt on.
If it is, as rain, heavy and sloppy and muddy as we maybe kind of think it could be, how long does it take before Florida State is sick of tackling Daniel Hill?
Oh man,
sorry, Daniel Mountain.
That's going to be a huge, and Richard Young too. I think Richard Young. Yeah. You get a huge opportunity, but I really do. This 3-3-5 that Tony White's got. If you're, I mean, a 6-man box is a 6-man box. You can go 4-3. That's a 7-man box. You can go 3-4. That's a 7-man box. They'll bring in a 5th defensive back to make it a 7 to 8-man box. But you're light. You're light in the front. And so if I am talking to these offensive linemen, I'm really saying some nasty things to these offensive linemen about you. This is on you, buddy. You got to go get them. You got to go. And I'm not being friendly in my conversations about them. You should have heard what they said about your mama. It just kind of stuff to get them fired up about, because you put 3 guys up there. And then you're probably going to have a linebacker hanging off one of the edges, and then you're probably going to have 2 interior guys, and so it's going to look like a 4-man front with two linebackers, kind of looking like the Alabama defense to a degree, and then you'll probably have a safety kind of hanging in there as that nickel, as that husky role, and it sounds like that's going to be Earl Little, and it's like, he's a talented athlete, but Earl Little Jr. in the run game sounds like
man's name is Little.
So yeah, liver. What's Shaquille O'Neal's barbecue chicken is what it sounds like to me. And so, I think that you open up the game with the thought of, hey, we're gonna hammer this baby until y'all get sick of it, and then we'll see if Ty Simpson can hit some of these explosives over the top. And that'll be a question. Yeah, that'll be certainly a question, but you stay in positive down and distances by getting after them in the trenches. And if it's raining and nasty, I think from an athlete's perspective, it just helps you get deeper into the pain cave. Oh, it's raining in pregame. We know what it's going to be. You better be sitting here in the pain cave and get your zen on and say we can stay here longer than you can. And you talk about David Ballou. You think about David Ballou, and he said that this offseason resembled the hardest off seasons that he's ever had under Coach Saban. And obviously, he came in the back end of Coach Saban's tenure. But, I mean, if it resembles some of those back end years, okay, great. I am feeling more and more confident. I know on Monday, we were all pretty much on the same page about Florida State plus 13.5. I had a buddy text me yesterday about what's the play? What's my $100 going to do? And I was like, man, I don't really know what you should do. I think you should kind of hold off on this. And yesterday I was starting to flip towards Alabama minus 13.5. Today I'm pretty solid. I think that you're going to get a backdoor cover. You're going to end it at 17. It's going to end up being what's 30 14, somewhere in that range, 28 14. That puts you at 14 points. That puts you at a cover. 28 10, that's 18 points. That's kind of where I'm at. 28 13. Bam, there's I think is probably what you're going to be looking at right here. And I do think the wetness will affect the game, but they have to play in it as well. And they're going to hit you with some jet sweeps, some wide motions. They're going to try to hit you on the edge, but you have a wet ball and you're flipping that baby around. Were we talking about 1.5 turnovers for Castellanos? Smash that over with a wet ball. Slipped out of my hands, interception. You got Husky Xavier Brown. You got Husky Cam Calhoun, who's just hanging right there 5 yards off the line of scrimmage. Ball goes up in the air. Whoop! Get you interception for a touchdown. I think that I'm feeling better and better about Alabama minus 13.5.
If it is, one of these kind of ugly, grinding, kind of slower paced games where Alabama kind of in the end, it's just clear, all right, Alabama has the better athletes on the field than Florida State. Florida State wasn't going to win this game from the jump, You know how those games go. We've watched plenty of them throughout the last 15 years or so. Are we coming away on Monday like really feeling overly impressed by this team, or is it more just kind of, all right, let's see what they do with everything even? I still don't know how they're going to do against Georgia. Still don't know how they're going to look in, or are we coming away still like being impressed by the performance? Because I don't really know where I'm going to fall if it is just kind of one, because I don't know, those games have never really done a whole lot to impress me from a long-term success perspective. Kind of, I don't know that necessarily tells me that this team can win a championship if they go out and just kind of grind out an ugly week 1 win in the rain.
Well, it's a maturity. I mean, it will show a maturity that quite frankly, I hate to say it, but quite frankly, the team did not show last year.
That's fair.
And depends on how efficient it is. If it does become to 17 to 24 to in that range, then yeah, you should be. But if it ends up being like, oh shoot, it's 14 to 17, it's 17-14 Bama. It's 14-10 Florida State in the fourth quarter, and Ty Simpson, buddy, you better grind us a drive to save us. And they do, and it's 17-14 final. I think that
that's where you worry about.
Yeah, a bit.
I mean, that's where I would look at that Georgia roster and say, ooh, there's a whole lot of guys on that defense that are way bigger and stronger than the guys they just got done playing. I don't know how I feel.
Right. And of course, you'd have to see how they handle their business with ULM and Wisconsin, which I expect both those games to be fairly non-competitive.
I don't. I like the Badgers, but I don't think they're doing a whole lot up there.
Last year they lost their quarterback on the first drive, and that really nuked the game. But still, I don't think it was going to be that close. What was it, 42-10? Is that what I remember? 42-14?
Yeah,
I think they scored another touchdown in the second half. I think it was 42-14.
Oh, no, 42-10.
Okay, great. Yeah, they kicked a field goal, and then they scored a touchdown in the second half. Ches Malusi, what a great name for a running back. Ches Malusi got in the end zone last year. Yeah, you're going to want to see them play the first 3 weeks out before you're starting to Is this a championship team? And you're going to want to measure them against Georgia.
Yeah, I mean, that's
no matter what
really
you
going to be
do
the
in the
big.
first 3 weeks, it's going to be, hey, we'll see what you do against the Dogs on the road.
I think a very conclusive, like we said, 14 to 21 point win here makes me feel pretty good about it. It makes me feel, I'm feeling pretty confident heading into Georgia. Like, okay, I think this is a good football team. But yeah, if we're less than that, I don't really know that it gives me a whole lot of confidence going into that Georgia game.
All right, Mason.
Or really any extra confidence, I should say.
Let's look at the rest of week 1, because obviously we're all excited about Alabama, Florida State, 2:30 on ABC. You're going to have Joe Tessitore bringing you that big game feel, calling the plays. Jesse Palmer as well. I think Katie George on the sidelines. So that'll be a lot of fun on ABC on Saturday. On Thursday, we open the slate of 4:30. Boise, and all these times are Central Time. If you're listening to us in the Eastern Time Zone or West Mountain Time Zone or whatever, we're on God's time zone, Central Time Zone. On Thursday, but Boise State is going to South Florida. They're going to get the USF treatment. We'll see if Alex Golish can get himself a signature win to start the season off at 4:30 on ESPN. What is there anything else on Thursday that looks interesting? Nebraska at Cincinnati. Okay, you can check out Miami of Ohio at Wisconsin on the Big Ten Network. I don't think I have Big Ten Network because we don't support those guys. Let's see. Friday, you got Georgia Tech at Colorado, the Fighting Deion Sanders. I will be at Gordo at Bibb County on Friday for WVUA Game of the Week.
I saw, not sure which Georgia Tech player it was, but did put out in some press conference, gave Colorado a bit of bulletin board material saying something along the lines of, we're not all about the flash and stuff. We're about stuff, basically doing the Dan Lanning line.
Copying Oregon.
Yeah.
We'll see about that. Auburn
I like
at
Georgia
Baylor.
Tech in that one.
Okay, how do we feel about Auburn and Baylor? Because I think that's going to be. It seems like it's going to be a fun game.
Give me Baylor.
Let's see.
I have
line is Auburn 2.5.
I really think that this Auburn team is going. We didn't even talk about Auburn's they're new national champions.
Oh, we did last week. Go ahead. Give me your take.
That is not something that you do when you feel really confident about the upcoming football season. That's not a move you make when you think, we're about to win 10 football games. That's a move you make when you think, we're about to win 4 football games, fire our head coach, and then be paying a third buyout.
But Hugh Freeze won 4 national championships in one night.
It's a record.
Fire him.
I assume I'm sure that y'all looked into the actual legitimacy of all those claims, which there literally is none. I believe every one of them, there was a team with more wins or a team that had just a better record, like strength of record than Auburn did that year. I don't know that, somebody did a whole tweet thread of it, and I went through and looked at all of them. None of them are even really able to be claimed. And if you want to compare them to Alabama's claimed national champions, you can go look at that list. And there is, I believe, only one that is in actual dispute. So, take that as you will.
Weagle, War Damn Eagle, 4-time national champions already.
Yeah, give me the Bears. Give me Baylor Bears in that one. Auburn's going to be bad. They're going to be a bad football team. I got a bad feeling.
You said that all 3 quarterbacks could play.
That's not good.
If you're already in that boat, then ride or die with Deuce Knight.
Come on. I mean, it's like a GM that's about to get fired drafting a quarterback and playing the rookie. Like it's the same thing. You got to play the exciting thing, and then you can point at the end of the year and say, "Well, look at the good things he did. If you just let me get another year with him, we might be good." You are going nowhere with Jackson Arnold.
Jackson Arnold dude wipes. Do you see that this week? Got sponsored by Dude Wipes, and it's like, okay, we're all pro. I am pro NIL. I'm not speaking for Mason, but I'm very pro NIL. You're gonna have that sponsorship go really, really bad.
Back in your face so bad, buddy.
When he plays bad, you're gonna have people get you a Dude Wipe, Auburn fans. Go wipe that duty off your off your rear end. Oh,
yeah. Man.
I of course we're not really we're not really selective with our sponsorships here on the Joe Gaither Show. If you want to sponsor the show, you can hit me up in the DMs at Joe Gaither 6, or find me really wherever. Our numbers are exploding. By the way, number 1 month all time right here in August, and we still have so many more days ahead of us before the game starts. So yeah, we are exploding in August. It's a great place to sponsor the show. We're not selective with our sponsors, but I think if you are the starting quarterback of an SEC school, you should be a little more selective than Dude Wife's better be paying him a whole truckload of money, because if he has a bad game, that's gonna be the social media meme, and it's gonna explode.
Yeah, I hope that he's being
like
paid
someone's
well
rear
for
end, and then they'll need Dude Wipes.
Yeah, I don't think it's going to be a happy week 1 for Auburn fans.
All right. So Georgia Tech, as you said, is a 4.5 point favorite. They're a 4.5 point favorite on the road. So they're looking good. All right. Saturday is going to be a huge day. Obviously Alabama, Florida State, 2:30. But we open up. Texas goes to Ohio State. Ohio State, a 1.5 point favorite at home. Julian Sayin or Arch Manning?
Texas is losing this game.
Oh, don't do it to me. Oh.
Yeah, I'm right. I'm taking Ohio State all the way in this. If it was at Texas, I'd probably give you Texas. I do think it's that, like, that's the difference here. But I'm not picking Ohio State to lose at home.
You are an awful college football fan if you have Syracuse at Tennessee on your main screen on Saturday at 11 instead of Texas Ohio State. You're going to have two ugly oranges. Syracuse at Tennessee. They are actually playing Mercedes-Benz, so they're not actually at Tennessee, but Tennessee is the de facto home team. Tennessee, a 13.5 point favorite. We don't have to do picks right now. I just want, because we'll do picks on Friday. Really,
I just hope that at least
highlight these games.
I hope that at least Syracuse wears blue. Please wear blue. Please don't make me look at Tennessee orange versus Syracuse orange on my screen.
Gross.
Just wear the blue jerseys.
Well, Indiana with their SEC schedule, they're hosting Old Dominion at 1:30. So a big game on FS1 at 1:30 on Saturday. You can watch the Hoosiers kick off their SEC schedule right there.
Oh, man. What? Canceling the West Virginia series.
Oh.
That's soft. I forgot all about it until right now, but man, that made me upset. Now, look, West Virginia is not some powerhouse of college football, mind you. But man, come on. I mean, it is a respectable team in a power conference that you had a game set up for the last, I don't even know how long. It's been like 10 years, I swear, feels like. I was very disappointed to see that series get canceled. Now I'm curious what the mutual canceling means. I don't really know the details there, but yeah,
they didn't want to get their butt whipped for 2 years, so they let us out without buying them out.
Man, just disappointed to see that.
If you're the premier brand in college football, you take on all comers anytime, anywhere. Oklahoma State series is next, Mason. The Oklahoma State series is next to get canceled.
They'll cancel that Ohio State one too.
Nah, I don't know about that. I think they'll keep that. I think they'll keep the Ohio State series, but I think they'll replace Oklahoma State with Texas State, some terrible team. Awful. All right, keep going in week 1. What other interesting games here?
Illinois State. Boston College.
Who are they taking? Who
Fordham.
Oh, great.
I'm not going to see Dylan Lonergan throw for 8 touchdowns.
Let's see. We're keeping on going. I'm at 6 o'clock now. Really, nothing after that Alabama game is really interesting to me. Then, of course, 6:30 LSU Clemson. We'll see if LSU can finally break their week 1 streak. I'm going to say no, just right here on a Wednesday.
No. Yeah, I will be saying no right now, and I can tell you right now that I'll say no again on Friday.
Okay, perfect. Okay, we'll keep going. Anything later that's interesting? Cal is at Oregon State. Okay, that's an interesting game on ESPN at 9:30. Utah is at UCLA. Yeah, Utah. These are some nice ones at the end of the night. Utah, UCLA, and Hawaii, Arizona.
Watched Hawaii last week.
Yeah, Stanford, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Oh, yes, they should. I watched that solely because I just wanted to see what the vibe of Stanford was going to be with Andrew Luck as the new, kind of savior of the program. And wow, what a disappointing start for the Cardinal there.
Hired his boy Frank Reich, and they looked like dog poo.
Ooh-wee. Man, it was ugly. Yeah.
So there's some fun games at the end of the night. Oregon State 9:30, ESPN, Hawaii, Arizona 9:30, TNT and HBO Max if you're a Maxer. Utah at UCLA, Fox 10 o'clock. So there we go. And then Sunday, two big ones, two fun ones. Virginia Tech at South Carolina, Mercedes-Benz 2 o'clock on ESPN, and then Notre Dame against Miami. Catholics versus Convicts 6:30 right there in Miami. 6:30 ABC.
I get that we want to make like the whole week one kickoff this big event thing, but I don't like seeing college football games on Sunday and Monday.
Well, there's no NFL to compete with.
I don't care. It's just doesn't feel right.
Okay, I got you.
That's strange to me.
I kind of had a little what moment yesterday when we were doing our Bears podcast. If you want to hear me talk about the Bears extensively, Believe in Monsters podcast. When we were looking at reviewing final cuts, and I was like, our first game is September the 8th. That's like 14 days from now. And so it's like this weird, I guess it probably happens every year, and I didn't really click with me or forgot about it. Ugh. So, of course,
the period between roster cutdowns and the actual first game, it's a wasteland.
Yeah, tried to give everybody a chance to heal up before the Bears whip the Vikings on Monday Night Football, September the 8th. And then on Monday, you've got TCU at North Carolina. You're going to be able to see Bill Belichick.
I can't wait. I can't wait. What's he going to be rocking on? Is he going with the?
Oh, how I miss you.
Is he going to rock? Is he going with the cutoff? Is he going to do it? Game one.
Just got rid of you. Oh, Bill Belichick. You didn't flatten that ball.
It was Tom Brady.
It was Tom Brady.
Is Jordan going to be on the sideline?
You didn't spy
Jordan Hudson. Is she going to be up in the booth
up there? Bro.
Yeah, no, that's right. She'll be up there with a headset.
We need to run a screen right here, Bill.
She'll be calling the plays
Inside
and she'll
zone.
be commentating the game.
Inside zone.
First time ever.
Let's run a quick slant. Like RPO inside zone with a flare screen on the outside. Come on, Bill.
I'm taking North Carolina in that game just because of TCU's bad, but I'm not really buying the Bill Belichick at UNC Kool-Aid. I still think it's kind of going to blow up in their face.
I think he'll do fine.
Yeah, I mean I think he wins 7 games or so.
He'll meet the North Carolina standards, which is, don't be terrible.
Yeah.
Don't be terrible. Get us a good win or two. So,
yeah.
We will reach out to Katie Wyndham to see if she wants to join us tomorrow before she heads down to Tallahassee to break down this game even further, this Alabama-Florida State game. We just wanted to talk about some games that are also on our radar. We'll make those picks on Friday officially. We'll skip around and kind of make the big ones. If you are listening to the program, we want your voicemails at 205-462-7340, extension 800. You can make your picks. Those are some of the games we're looking at. You can make your picks on those games. You can bring up another game that's interesting to you, make your pick. We'll play your voicemail on Thursday or Friday about making your picks for the weekend and your predictions. The rest of the day, pretty simple for us today. We've got the SEC Coaches Teleconference. Happens right about an hour or so. I think Kalen DeBoer is up at 11:30, and he's not going to say anything at all, but we will be logged into it and listen to it and record it for everybody's sake. We'll record it, and then we have Hey Coach tonight. I believe it's at 6:30, 6 or 6:30 tonight over there at Baumhauer's. This is the first night that Kalen DeBoer will be on Hey Coach. Last week was our friend Charlie Potter and David Ballou. We'll find out who the media member is. It's not me and it's not Mason, unfortunately. Chris Stewart, hit us up. We'll turn that show upside down. But we're gonna have Kalen DeBoer on the show tonight at Baumhauer. So get over there if you want to hear that, or check it out on the Crimson Tide Sports Network. We'll hear more comments from Kalen DeBoer. And basically from there, it's going silent. 0 dark 30. No more media availabilities for the team, for Coach DeBoer, Thursday and Friday. So we will carry all your entertainment on Thursday and Friday, and we will get you ready for Saturday's game. Mason Woods, anything else you got for the people today?
Ooh, the guy, Mr. Kumar Brooks that we mentioned at the top of the show. If you get the opportunity, go check out that huddle highlight tape. It's pretty impressive. I'm watching a little bit here. I think he seems to be a pretty good player.
All right, so we will see if Alabama can flip him from Maryland, and we will keep you up to date with all things Crimson Tide related. Follow us on the Bama Central YouTube channel. Follow us right there on Apple Podcasts, Amazon, Spotify, Red Circle, Bubble, BUBBL, your favorite podcast platform. Subscribe, rate, and review the show. Send it to a friend. Call us on the voicemail line, and we'll talk to you tomorrow right here on the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central and BamaCentral.com.
Thanks for joining us on today's edition of the Joe Gaither Show on Bama Central. Keep up with Joe on all his social media pages at Joe Gaither6. Subscribe, rate, and review the show on Spotify and Apple Podcasts, and be sure to read us daily at BamaCentral.com.